Now to a story that may test your belief system. For decades, people all over the world have reported sightings of a mythical ape-like creature known as Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
But one group in Beeville in South Texas is working to try and prove it actually exists. Michael Gibson from our Corpus Christi station has more of the search for the Bee County Bigfoot.
Hey folks, Alex Staunch here. And today we're talking with Baldemar Galvan Jr., Bee County's leading Bigfoot investigator, about the long, strange history of the Bee County Bigfoot. So Baldemar, where do we even start?
Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how everything got started from the very beginning to the very end, and until now. What happened was, in the month of October, it was 2013. We were a friend of mine were driving down this ranch, and we were double checking everything, looking for poachers, and or just checking fence lines out and everything like that. So we normally did a routine just about every day. Everything like around, it was between 11 o'clock and between 11 and 11:30, around there. So we were driving around the ranch and everything, and we came across this sendero, and there was this black thing standing on the middle of the sendero, and it was like 40 yards away. And I looked at my buddy. He goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "I don't know what that is." And we just looked at it for a few seconds. I said, "Hey, back up the truck a little bit more, and let's see if we get a better view of it." And sure enough, when he moved the vehicle, that thing was gone, and in less than seconds, that creature was gone. And it was actually standing on two legs. It was maybe between 8.5 to 9 feet tall. And so what I did was, there was a pipeline that was running across there, and I went to the pipeline to check if I could get a better view of it. So when I went to go out there where he was standing, there was a real strong musky smell. It was a cross between a wet dog and rotten eggs. And so I went to the sendero and looked to the pipeline, and that animal didn't cross the road, didn't do anything, or went to another area. Maybe possibly was that quick, but I never saw it again. And in the same area where we actually found it, there was actually some deer bones that were actually like a lair, and we would find one dead deer, and then 3 weeks later we would find another dead deer, and 3 more weeks later we would actually found another dead deer, and it was real strange because we'd never seen anything like that before. And then we saw the creature, and then all of a sudden it made sense to us that it was actually the kill that this animal actually made. And then what I did was I started asking some old timers that were maybe in their 70s and 80s, and maybe even late 60s, and asking them if they'd seen anything or heard anything strange down these creeks. So they told me, "Well, you need to talk to Mr. Robbie. He has a whole bunch of answers to that." And I went up there and talked to Mr. Robbie, and he comes up and he invites me to come to his office, and I sit down, and now he's showing me pictures that is what this animal made in Beeville, Texas, like 15 years ago. And I'm going, man, this is fascinating, because the pictures that he had were just totally amazing. And Beeville is maybe around 25 miles from Beeville, Texas. And then, so what I decided to do, I said, you know what, I need to have a Bigfoot meeting to find out how many people will show up. And then all of a sudden, I had a Bigfoot meeting, and then 6 people showed up. And then it turned out to be 10 people that showed up. And then the news team showed up from Corpus Christi. And then from there, I started getting reports from all around South Central Texas area. So that's how this whole thing got started.
You said you talked to a lot of old timers about Bigfoot stories from the area. What are some stories that stuck out to you?
That stuck out.
We learned of one of the first supposed Bigfoot sightings in the county. That happened in Normanna back in 1925 when the creature surprised some cowboys inside a ranch house.
He actually stuck his whole head into the window. And the gentleman said his mouth was this big and his eyes were so big. And then so the animal made a just sound out in there, and then so the animal took off.
The main reason I found to explain the reasons why we never caught one or have solid proof is simply that they don't want to be found.
That's exactly. You're right. You're 100% right. And because that's the thing. I had I'll give you another example. And this is what happened last year and also in the month of October. I had this non-believer that actually thought that I was full of BS about me going to the news and me talking about Bigfoot around here in Bee County. And so he was a non-believer. So he was he'll be the very first person to tell you that I was talking BS about it. And then one day he goes to his ranch, and Lord and behold, he had some binoculars on his chest, and then he actually saw not one but two Bigfoots as he's driving up. And they get up and they scatter. One went one way and the other one went the other way. And he said that the taller one was big and massive, and he had some white in his chest. And he took off. He said he ran super fast that he couldn't even have enough time to pick up his binoculars and look. And all of a sudden he slowed down and looked at him and just walked over the gate and took off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then so he went up there and tried to find me, and he actually found a family member and told him that he owed me a big apology, that he actually saw two of these creatures, and now that when he tells people his story, that they don't believe him that he actually saw it.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, again, it's smart. It's smart. There's a lot of people, that that don't want to be found, or they go to town just to like that they could be hidden, hide from other people, or a safe haven for people just to go then and hide. And I believe that they have a safe place that they go and hide, and the safe place where they go and hide are basically down these creeks, because that's where it feels more safe, because it's reddish in color. I've seen the one that I've seen was dark brown, like a black in color, and it's excellent camouflage down these certain creeks. So that's why down these creeks, like down here in Beeville, I've heard of caves being down here, and possibly that's an area where they probably might live at.
When's the last time you did a cast?
I would say it was probably like a couple of years ago. One of my relatives actually ran over a raw pig on the side of the road. And like 2 days later, the pig was gone. And it just finished raining. And I found this huge footprint on the side where the pig was at. And so I actually casted that. I still to this day I still have that print. See, the thing is, just like any animal, I think the only time when it can be really violent is when you mess with its young. I've actually heard stories where there was. Don't quote me on it because I don't know the area or where it was at. Where there was one man that was actually missing, and he actually went like on a hunting trip or a fishing trip. I don't know the whole story about it, but they actually found his body with his head twisted all the way around, and the gunshot that he had, basically all the bullets were shot from it, but did it was the person that passed away. It was a strange kill. The way he died, or how he fell and broke his neck, but they were blaming down the animal. But I couldn't say if it was real or not, or if the animal killed it, or he just had a freak accident. But that's the only story that I actually heard about that could be Bigfoot related.
So do you get a lot of negativity from like non-believers and stuff?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. I mean, even a person from Texas Monthly by the name of Leif actually came up there and did something on the page of Texas Monthly that he made a big joke about it. I'm not getting nothing out of telling the story about Bigfoot. I'm making nothing from it. I just want to let people be aware, that there's that there's something out there, and that nobody's saying anything about. I'll give you, and I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but anyway, when I had my Bigfoot sightings and everything like that type deal, when all this Bigfoot stuff was going on, and then I decided to contact the game warden. And I called the game warden up and I say, hey, dude, he goes, I just want to let you know that I had a Bigfoot meeting and everything, and a lot of people have been having sightings about Bigfoot here in Bee County. And so the very first thing out of everybody's mouth when you tell stories like this, were they drunk, or were they smoking dope, or some kind of drugs or anything? I said no, because these people that told me was some older gentlemen and some older ladies, and that talked about stories that happened these years ago. And I just finished having my encounter not too long ago. And I just wanted to, and he starts laughing. He comes up, he goes, well, as soon as I'll do a little bit of investigating, and as soon as I find out something, I will let you know. The very next day, he gives me a call at 11 o'clock in the morning. And he gives me a call and he tells me, hey, tell me, and this time he's like not laughing or anything. He was serious. And he comes up, he goes, tell me one more thing. He goes, when was the last sighting that it happened with Bigfoot? I go, well, it happened to me, and it happened a few months ago. And he goes, where? So I told him where it was at. And so he comes up there and he goes, okay, tell me about the smell. I said, I never told you anything about no smell. And he goes, and he was silent. He goes, well, he goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I got access to a helicopter if you want to come over here and just look around. I said, no, dude. He goes, I don't want to go look for it with a helicopter. I just don't want to scare it off. So again, he knew something, or somebody told him something, or because, even with the police scanners, people will actually say that somebody actually saw Bigfoot crossing the road on Highway 181. So, yeah, a lot of stuff like that happens. Oh man, he goes, let me tell you something. It's a very intelligent animal. See, the thing is, when we say I call it an animal or a creature, or it could even be some type of man, we just don't know. That's one thing that really mysterious about this creature. We just don't know what it is. The only thing that we know about it is that people have actually seen it, and it actually walks on two legs and is hairy, but it's a very smart animal, and there's times that he's even walking on all fours. There's some times when you could probably actually see one in the woods and everything, and you're thinking, and once you look at it, if it's on fours, you might think it's a cow or a big pig. I mean, this animal is so smart that it even messes around with trail cameras. It would even tap them and try to set them off. It's a very intelligent animal. Right now, I'm inspecting some hair samples that I actually send off from Canada to Canada. where I actually, a hunter actually found a 19-inch footprint, 19 by 9. And but what's terrible about it, that it was a bad rainstorm and it destroyed all the toes and everything like that. But I casted it anyway. And then I looked around the fence line area, and sure enough, there was hair on it. And I actually pulled hair samples. I actually got a total of 6 hair samples. So I actually sent 3 off to Canada. So I'm expecting them anytime now.
Well, Baldemar, we'll get caught up with you once the results come in on that hair. Sound good? Maybe we can get to the bottom of this.
Oh, for sure. Sure. I'll definitely let you know.
Be sure to subscribe to Staunch TV to be updated on new episodes of the series. This was kind of an idea I had to spread some of the strange history of my hometown. If you have anything to contribute, please email me or find me on Facebook at Alex Staunch. Thanks for watching, and subscribe.